This video will be part 3 of 3 for the carabiner top modeling process. And in this video, we've got majority of the carabiner top modeled. We're just going to go ahead and create the holes and the threading in the bottom of the carabiner top component. If you have saved this part and come back to it, your active component could be the top level. Before you make any changes, go ahead and move down to the carabiner top and make sure that it is still the active component, or change it to the active component before you make any changes to this model. Let's go ahead and we're going to create a new sketch on the bottom face of the carabiner top. We're going to create a center diameter circle by using the origin. It's going to have a diameter of 0.385. I'm going to go ahead and hit finish sketch, and then I'm going to offset a plane from the bottom plane here a distance of 0.225 and hit enter. Create a new sketch on that work plane that we just created, and then on the center diameter circle I'm going to use the origin and I'm going to make a diameter circle at 0.37 and hit enter. And then I can go ahead and finish the sketch. Now I'm going to loft these two profiles, which is going to be kind of hard to get the second circle. You can get the bottom one by rotating down. So I'm actually going to hit cancel. I'm going to expand the carabiner top component file, and I'm going to expand the bodies, and I'm going to just turn off the visibility for body 1. Then I'm going to click loft. I'll select the two circles. It's going to build like a cylinder. As it goes through, it thinks that we're going to create a new body until I turn the visibility back on for body 1, and then it shows that it's going to change to a cut operation, which is what we want. And I'm going to go ahead and say OK. From here, I'm going to collapse these menus, and you can rotate this down and see how it cut out that particular shape. Now on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and create a new sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and create a circle with a diameter of 0.225 and hit enter. Then I can finish the sketch. I'm going to extrude, selecting that circle, and I'm going to cut up into the part a negative 0.35, which once it gets into there, into a solid, it'll start cutting out the shape and change over to a cut operation. If it doesn't, you can manually change the cut operation from this drop down menu. I'll say OK. That'll give the little opening on the little portion on the top, the little protrusion from the pin barrel, to be able to fit up into there and create that. Now, sticking with on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a coil that's going to act as our threading. So I'm going to choose the bottom face as our one to sketch from. If I rotate to the bottom with the view cube, I'm going to draw a circle. So that's the first operation that we'll do, a diameter of 0.37, and I'll hit enter. Now as I go to create this, I'm going to change over what is going to be the profile. So here they have like the face. So notice how it's going to create threading going this direction. We're going to make some changes. In the type, I want to change from, if you're set to revolution and height, we're going to change over to height and pitch. The diameter is going to be a 0.37. The height is going to be 0.225. Now notice how it's building outward. We may have to make that a negative value to make it go in. The pitch is going to be 0.05. For that to work, we're going to make that a negative 0.05. It may give us some warnings here, but we'll change it. Section, we're going to go to triangular internal. We're going to go, section position is going to go to the inside, and the section size is going to be 0.02 inches. It thinks it may want a cut operation, but we're going to change this over to a join, so that way it will build our particular threading that we have going on the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and say OK. Now one of the things we're going to need to do with this option is we're going to need to do a little bit of cleanup. So if you take a look at this, our thread kind of sticks out a little bit there, so where we built that, and it also kind of will start to run up into some of the portions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create Sketch. I'm going to select the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and click the P key on the keyboard to project the bottom face here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab what we've got going on, and just by clicking in these two areas, and I'm going to go ahead and say OK. I'm going to finish the sketch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude, and what I want to click on is this middle circle here, and I'm going to drag outward. And what it is it seems like, all right, we're kind of cutting into an open air, but what that does, if I cut that to a distance of 0.15 inches, let's say, just that way we can make sure we get plenty of the effect, that will make sure that the whatever we have left now, when I turn to the side, I've got a flat portion there on the bottom. So there's where the threading will kind of go through and stop on that. Then I'm going to create another sketch on the bottom. I'm going to create a circle at a diameter of 0.385. Hit enter, finish the sketch. I'm going to extrude that circle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut into the part a value of negative 0.03. And then say OK, and I'm going to make sure that has as a cut operation. So that's going to help clean up some of that threading on the bottom, as you can see, and now we're getting some operation done here. Alright, and then on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and create, so when I click Create Sketch, I actually want to choose this face here on the inside, on the upper portion where the threading would come to a stop. I'm going to create a circle with a diameter of 0.37, and I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and hit extrude, and I want to go ahead and grab your, notice I get two kind of profiles. I got a circle here, and I've got this little sliver, so I'm going to grab that sliver. I'm just going to grab it all there, and then I'm going to do a, so as I go downward, it's going to extrude outward 0.045, so that was going to clean up some of that threading we have there. Just going to make sure it's a cut operation, and we're going to go ahead and say OK. So this will go through and give us some of the threading that we need on the inside, and that will go ahead and clean up some of those threads that we would see kind of going on there. Alright, so that is what we see for the Carabiner top component. This will finish out the Carabiner top, finishing this video series on it. And in the next video, we'll take a look at putting in the axle pin, and after that, the subsequent video will be looking at putting in the pin clip into the Carabiner top as well.